might make it a little easier to use this. Is that a little easier? Yeah. Boys and girls, when I was your age, you remember all my stories. Like I'm the youngest of 12 children, and I had I couldn't believe how my parents. I was 13, 14. I'm thinking like my parents like. Really? Like you've raised 11 other kids. Why can't you get this right? And I was really dumbfounded how little they knew. I was shocked how little they knew. And then when I became about 21 years old, I was amazed at how much they learned in 5 or 6 years. Of course, boys, that's the problem is that, of course, they didn't learn things in those 5 years. They always knew them. It was me that I didn't know as many things as I thought I'd do, and I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. And you come to realize that. And I guess the point of what I'm saying is, I didn't have a sense of humility. I didn't have a sense of wisdom that they knew better than me. And sometimes they let me fail anyway. They let me trip myself up and let me do those mistakes. And eventually I did learn. Sometimes from them, sometimes from others. It was sometimes a easy path and sometimes a torturous path because I didn't listen real well. I wasn't really good at doing some of the things I thought as I look back on now, I wish I had. So boys and girls, over the many years you've been here when I've been here, you've heard me give weekly homilies, and so you've probably had a bazillion words. I'm going to try to sum up those words in today's homily. I'm going to try and give you something to hold on to as you move into this new transition of your life, this stage moving from elementary school now to high school. And the word I'm going to give you is both a word and an acronym. The word is love, L-O-V-E. I want to use that as an acronym to help you, because fundamentally everything we have talked about at school is about how to love one another, how to love ourselves, and how to love God. And maybe best of all, how to love God by loving others and loving ourselves. So first of all, L, listen. I want you, L for listen. I've learned over the years that listening is underused skill. That we don't do enough listening to one another. I mean, we hear the words, we hear the sounds, but we don't listen all the way in our hearts. And so, boys and girls, if there was something I would ask you to try to do is try to learn to really listen with your heart. Learn to listen to what's being said around you and to you. In particular, I ask you to listen to your parents. I know you think they're the uncoolest people in the world right now. I get that. But they have wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom. That's what this first reading talks about. Sirach is kind of one of the books for wisdom. And our parents can offer us wisdom if we're willing to listen. As you enter into high school, I ask you to listen to your teachers. They are trying to teach you something new that you have yet to explore. And you may not think they're doing a great job, but listen. Listen to them deeply and try to learn what they are teaching you. Listen to your good friends. We have lots of friends, but listen to your good friends. If you've got good friends, and I hope every one of you do, they will be a good mirror for you. They will tell you things that others will not tell you, both the good and the not so good. Listen to both, because not everything about ourselves is good. So listen to your friends, your good friends. They will be honest and they will be a good mirror to you. Listen Listen to God. Learn to desire to listen to God in your heart. You've heard me endlessly talk about how important prayer is in your life, and to learning to listen to God in our hearts. But make time for that. In your life in high school is going to get very busy at times. And if you don't carve out time to listen to your parents, to listen to God, it will slip by, and you will not be as wise as you could be. And most of all, I want you to listen to yourselves. Listen to your own heart. Listen when something doesn't sound right. Listen to that intuition in your own heart. Trust yourself. Trust yourself that you are wise enough to know when something is not as good as it seems, or that it's even better than what it might seem. Learn to listen to your own heart. Learn to listen to your own needs, because you have needs and you are valuable. You are a child of God, and you need to listen to that. Okay, so that's L. O is openness. I ask you to be open to new ideas. Boys and girls, you're going into a high school and you're going to be given so many opportunities. Be open to those opportunities. Be open to new ideas, new learning. Be open to the teachers who are going to give you new ways to do things. Try things. This is your element. This is just go for it. You got nothing to fear. Be open to all new ideas and learn from them. The next one is be open to new friendships. Now, I know you've got friends here, and some of you have had friends here since you've been in pre-K, and that's wonderful. But be open to new friends. Be open to new friends and new ideas, yes, but new friendships will bring you a breath of fresh air, will give you newness in your own life, and will feed you and your heart. Be open to the sacred in your life. Be open to the sacred. Be open to surprised by God. God will surprise you if you are open. Be open to new ideas. Be open to new friendships. Be open to the sacredness in your life. Right at every moment of every day, boys and girls, God is trying to break through and show you his love for you. Be open to seeing God at all times and in all people. Now, if you're open and you're listening well, then you're going to need something to take the next step. That's where V comes in, is valor. Valor is an old word that we don't use very much, other than when we say valedictorian. That's the root word for valedictorian. What it means, boys and girls, is boldness and courage. When you are listening well and you hear stuff and you see and you recognize, then it will take courage and boldness to find a voice inside of you for somebody who has no voice at a particular moment. That will take courage and boldness. Take hold of that courage and do and say what you believe needs to be said and done. It also will take valor to sometimes remain silent when somebody else has found their voice for their first time. And so you need to be open to the idea that somebody else now needs to speak. And this is their moment, and it takes courage and boldness to remain silent and to allow them to have their moment. It also takes valor to speak your own voice, to not fall into the crowd, to not blend in, to not want to be noticed. It takes courage to be yourself. You are wonderful just the way you are. You don't have to change anything about yourself. You just have to become the best version of yourself. And that takes boldness and courage to be your ordinary self. So try to be valor. Try to take hold of valor and be bold and courageous. The last one is empathy. Empathy is an underused virtue in today's world. Empathy means, boys and girls, that we walk a day in another person's shoes. Empathy is to enter into a situation and see what it is like to be the other person, to understand what I'm saying and doing from another person's point of view, and to sit and to experience me from their point of view, and to sit and experience them from their point of view. Boys and girls, to be empathetic is to care, is to care and to love others for who they are without them having to change, without them required to do something to be liked. In particular, I want you to be empathetic to those who are broken, those who are wounded, those who have scars. You're going to be going to schools where there's going to be a whole lot of brokenness and woundedness. There's going to be hundreds of boys and girls in your classes. And out of those, there's always going to be somebody that's hurt. Something that's happened in their life, and they may never, ever tell you. Be kind to them. Be gentle to them. Be loving to them. Because the measure of our discipleship as Christians is not how we treat our friends. It's how we treat those who we consider not to be our friends, those who are on the periphery. If you are empathetic, then your heart will be with them, and you will be gentle, and you will be kind. Because in the end, we all have a bit of wounds. We all have some brokenness in our lives. And if somebody can be kind to us, then why can't we be kind to others? So boys and girls, I ask if you nothing else you remember all this year, or these years, is remember love. Listen, open, valor, and empathy. And try to love others, love yourself, and love God. Now, a little advice for our parents, just before we go. You know, I don't know if you've ever been at an airport and you see another parent give it to their child. Have you ever seen that? You know, they just go all out. Oh, and you think, at first you go, yeah. And then all of a sudden they keep going. You go, ooh. And you kind of like, oh, this is not a good moment. And they just keep going. They just lose it. It's not a particularly good moment for them. And yet, when we look at that, we say, oh, that's not good. And then we think to ourselves, when we have those moments, which we do, maybe not in a public, in the airport, but we have those moments, they're not our best moments. We do not want to have any more of those. We want less of those. So my advice to you is let the river flow. Let the river flow with your kids. They'll make mistakes. Let them make mistakes. They'll learn from mistakes. Help them learn from their mistakes. Guide them. Be a coach rather than be the person who insists they learn your way. Let them be themselves. Encourage them to be all that they can be, the best version of themselves, by letting the river flow. Things are never as important as we might think. Not as dangerous. The world is not as dangerous as we might think. These kids of yours are wonderful human beings. These students have been a pleasure to be with, so let their love flow and just enable them to be the best version of themselves. So finally, boys and girls, my hope, my dream for you is that you become part of this love enterprise. Listening, opening, valor, and empathy. You do it each day, and if we're honest with you, it's so hard what I've asked you to do that, you need to keep coming back for help. And that's why we come to church on Sunday. It's no more difficult than that. We come to church to help each other, to love one another, to love God, love ourselves, and to love others. So today I congratulate you. We wish you well in the enterprise that we call love.